Welcome to the Mother Daughter-ish podcast. It's your mama's favorite podcast.
And the podcast your daughter always wanted.
This is Miss Dawn.
And Angelique.
From the 713. Houston, y'all. Get connected and stay connected weekly as new shows debut on Sunday, Wednesday, and please check out our Saturday Out and About showcases.
Enjoy the show. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and tell every woman on the planet that you know about our show.
Here's our show for today.
Everything's better. Mother and daughter, oh, they're the greatest duo. Mother and daughter, oh, they're the greatest duo.
Hello, mothers and daughters. I have a really fantastic show for you today. As I told you, my September is Wonderful Women Month, and I am going to be meeting and greeting and interviewing wonderful women that are around the world. Now, today, I have Miss Katherine Haysbert, and she's a multidisciplinary wellness expert. Look, when I get through with all of this, you guys are going to fall in love with her because she's got a lot going on. She's an expert who's committed to empowering women. Now, you know I talk about empowering women all the time in business, personal development, things like that. She's empowering women to reconnect. Listen to that word, reconnect with their health and priorities and their well-being. Now, look, I wish I knew half of what she knows at her age, at my age. I wish I had known that, but I'm glad I have this information now because I've got a 21-year-old and a 28-year-old that I cannot wait for them to be able to see the video. They're actually excited about the interview I'm doing today. So Katherine is a certified nutrition consultant, a certified a natural chef, and I'm excited to know about some of those recipes, and an integrative energy healer, which is so important in every area of your life. She uses her expertise in various modalities to find the root causes. Listen, y'all, she said the root causes, because sometimes we put a Band-Aid on what's happening, but we don't go to what the root is. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Root causes of hormone imbalances. And if you lived a little bit longer, I promise you, take my word, you'll know what she means by that. Root causes that modern women struggle with, such as PCOS. We're going to talk about what that stands for. Menstrual cycle regulations or irregulations, PMS syndrome, gut health, and fertility. You know, Katherine, that's the thing that caught my attention with the messages that you previously used to put out was the gut health thing, because I promise you, I never thought about it. I never thought about gut health. So I appreciate you for having that information you had. But also, women, this is very important. It also has to do with your fertility health. And so we know a lot of ladies are going through different types of fertility issues. And if you maybe have better diets and things like that, you could kind of ward off. I've had so many friends that have had fertility issues and they change their diet and their lifestyle. And then all of a sudden, a little bundle comes along. Katherine marries the science of health, of nutrition, food, and energetic healing to help others step into the healthiest, most authentic and whole version of themselves. Now, who doesn't want to be the whole version of themselves? Like, we don't even know what that means until we start that journey. Welcome, Katherine. And I tell you, it is such a delight for me to have you today. I really appreciate that you agreed to educate our audience and talk to us about how you got started with this. And I can tell by looking at your face that this is a love for you, right?
Oh yeah, thank you so much for having me. I love speaking about this because if I had a podcast that spoke about these things when I was in college or in high school or in middle school even,
oh my God,
it would have, oh my gosh, it would have changed so much. So I'm just happy that I can talk about it.
This is so true. When I was going back through your Instagram feeds and I was saying to myself, I wish I knew what she's talking about in my 20s. I'm turning 50 this month. I'm so excited. I don't even know why I'm so crazy and excited, because I decided a long time ago that I was going to be 25 for the rest of my life. So now that I'm turning 50, I get to revert back to 25. And if anybody asks me for the next 25 years how old I am, I'm 25. So they can dispute it if they want to, but I can't wait for this birthday to be done so I can go back to my 25.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
My daughter's like, yeah, but I'm going to be 29 soon. I'm like, you better not tell anybody in front of me. I I realized that you and I have something in common. When I was looking at your book list that you have on your page, you have the 7 spiritual laws. And I was like, oh my God, I read that book when I was like in my 30s. And one of the books that you have on here that I'm definitely going to be picking up, and I already put it in my cart on Instagram, is the one about inflammation. And I'm interested in the inflammation part because I've heard Dr. Sebi talk a lot about how inflammation causes all the other issues in our body. I'm going to start this off with a big old question.
Okay.
How in the world did you get so smart? I mean, like, I don't know very many people your age that are like thinking about their future health, because what you're doing is teaching future health. So how did you get so smart and get this passion and fervor for wanting to talk about this?
Oh, thank you. Well, I think it really started in college. I had so many hormonal issues, and I didn't understand it because I was quote unquote healthy. I had the veggies, I had water, I was like eating fine, like nothing was out of the ordinary. But I was a Division I athlete in college. And it was then that I saw that I wasn't fueling myself properly for the amount of energy I was expending. And that was when all of that started. So that created this self-discovery of me diving through Google University and like trying to figure out what is happening. And it was only after I graduated that I went to a proper nutrition program to learn about the body, as well as the chef program. But that was when I dove into the reasons why and the root causes of why I all of a sudden had so many hormonal imbalances, and it really felt so foreign and I didn't understand it. So it was really a self discovery at first. And then once I went to school, and that's what led me, and I always think that was my plan. I think God's plan was to have me go through track and field, really genuinely wanting to go to the Olympics and thinking that was my path. I was not that fast, so it wasn't gonna happen, but really thinking I was gonna go to the Olympics. But because of that, my nutrition school is right down the street from Berkeley. I went to UC Berkeley. And so that nutrition school is right down the street. And that's how I discovered everything about the body and nutrition. So I always think that that was on purpose.
Isn't it funny how that happens? Like you'll go on a journey and then you'll find out what the real journey was. That to me is, it blows my mind every time. I used to be shocked, but now I go, oh, okay, I get it. Like I understand it now. I used to be shocked, but I'm not shocked by it anymore. Well, you know, you have this PCOS. I know what it stands for, of course, but I want you to explain to the mothers and daughters that are listening what PCOS is and what were some of the symptoms that led you to even learning more about it. Because when you see that PCOS, and I even went on Google and I typed in PCOS and I looked at all the different communities of information. It was a lot talking about diet and gut health and all that. And I was like, there's a whole world out there.
So PCOS stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome. And basically, your doctor can diagnose it, but there are also ways to kind of check if you have something, maybe not a diagnosis of PCOS, but have some of the symptoms. So you can look at some, like the most common way of prescribing it from a doctor is they look at the Rotterdam criteria, and that basically 3 little categories. And if you have 2 out of the 3, there's a high probability you have PCOS. So one of them is androgen dominance, which is basically a group of sex hormones that include testosterone. So you can think of testosterone when you think of androgens, that it's over dominant in the body. So that means you're getting facial hair that we're not usually used to as women. We're kind of getting some of those uncomfortable places like hair on the chest, on the belly, on the upper lip. So those are some physical manifestations of androgen dominance. Another one is literal cysts on the ovaries. So that's like the main, original term for PCOS is you actually have physical cysts. And then the third one is irregular periods or not ovulating. It's a whole conversation, but we can still have our period without having a ovulatory phase, which is why people have problems with infertility, not having normal feelings before having a period. They have PMS, like extreme PMS symptoms. Estrogen dominance is under that umbrella of not having a regular period or having too long of a period. So it's those three things: androgens, actual cysts, and basically irregular periods that show, okay, do I have 2 out of those 3? If I do, let me check with my doctor to see if I have PCOS, and kind of check out a nutritionist to see how I can help myself. And but that's basically what that is.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that, because if you listen to women's conversations, they almost think that's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everybody has PMS. That's not true, because I'm almost 50 and I've never experienced PMS. I don't know what those cramps are all about. I mean, I've had 4 children, and I don't remember the pain. I had them all natural. Like, different women go through different things. But as I hear these different conversations, even with my own girls, it's like, instead of looking into it to see if there could be something extra, everybody just thinks, a lot of women, I should say, not everybody, but a lot of women think, oh, that's just natural. It's just par for the course, it's just one of those things that just happens. But no, there's a way to have a regular, and there's a way that it's irregular. And I think by getting the education, we probably would know a little bit more about it. And
it's so much easier than we think it is to help ourselves.
And how important, and I know it is for everything, but how important is the way we feed our bodies and our organs? How important is that to kind of ease a little bit of that frustration?
It is extremely important. I actually think it's the foundation for our bodies to be at our natural state is vitality. And I think a lot of people don't remember that that's our natural state, is to be healthy. And it's just things in our modern world that kind of hinder that from being its natural state. So nutrition at its foundation, it's everything. It's literally how we feed our body is how we will feel. So when I talk about hormonal imbalances, really what it all comes back down to is stress and inflammation. Like all disease, everything comes back to stress and inflammation. And it's just the different variables and different modalities of which you do that. So for nutrition specifically, I really focus on blood sugar balance, because if we can get our blood sugar to be at an equilibrium, like have it be flat lined basically throughout the day, rather than a big roller coaster, that affects so many of our hormones. And it affects how our body takes in glucose, how it takes in protein, how it takes in all the minerals we eat. So it basically sets our body up to be calm and for our organs to just do their jobs, because the organs are running the show. We're like a machine. So if we just feed it in a natural state and we have it be in a calm state while we're eating, it sets up so many great repercussions of not basically having hormonal imbalances.
I believe every word you say, and I'll tell you why. A few years ago, I decided, okay, I was going to eliminate meat from my diet, and I did it for a summer, and I was like, okay, I didn't die. I lived. Then the next time I said, okay, I'll see if I could do it for 6 months. Well, then I decided I was going to give it up altogether. And so then I incorporated this thing in my mind that I said, I don't want to eat anything that had a mother, because if they had a mother, then that mother has hormone issues too. So I don't want those hormones mixing with my hormones. And I just said, I'm not going to eat anything that had a mother. And I'm going to tell you the differences that I saw in my brain function and in my pep in my step and my, just the way I do things and the way I function and having that energy in the morning. I'm a 3 a.m. girl. I like to get up at 3 a.m. and start my day, and don't talk to me after 3 o'clock because I need a nap, those type of things. But I noticed that just changing the diet little pieces at a time, drinking better water, drinking more water. I mean, how many of us don't even drink enough water and don't even realize that we should be having, half the water of our weight? Like who's the person that's going to tell us this? Like, I wish in school, middle school, high school, that they would literally break these things down, like what you're saying, to say, look, if you take care of your body will take care of you, type of thing. But if we're just think that we can. And here's the thing that I'm always fussing at my girls about. They think they can just eat anything. And I'm like, listen, when I was in my 20s, I used to say the same thing. I'd be going out, hanging out to 3 or 4 in the morning, think I could stop over at the IHOP and get just being 20s, just having a great time and not thinking, oh, wait a minute. So one day I'm going to be older than 20. Maybe not in age to myself, but The
Yeah.
body does not lie. I don't care how much surgery you get. I don't care what you do to adjust it. The body does not lie, and it will let you know that's not good, or that I like feeding my body. So when it comes to feeding your body, what are some of your favorite things now that, because I do believe that there are certain foods that we can eat that kind of light us up and make us happy and make us shine and puts a little pep in our step. Like, what are some of those foods now that you're incorporating in that you didn't know about before that are putting a little extra pep in your step now?
Well, it's interesting because it might contradict what you just said, but I have found the power of animal products, but high quality animal products.
Yes, and that is
And so, yeah, so I think that's an important distinction. But what I didn't know before and what I believed before was like, okay, I'm only going to eat plants, which is great.
Right.
No shade to anyone who does that, do your thing. But from my studies, the importance of complete amino acid proteins has been so vital to our thyroid and adrenal health.
Yeah.
Our liver.
And you're right, because when I gave up meat, then I end up at the doctor and they're saying they think I had a thyroid issue. I didn't end up having one, but I was like, that was one of the things I read when you get rid of meat. And I was like, oh, dang it, can I win?
Yeah. So this is why it's beautiful though, because now it gives open space for people to decide for themselves and have a balance. So I am not pro eating meat 3 times a day, but I am pro having really high quality protein a few times a week and having some fish or having bone broth and gelatin and collagen. So it's a beautiful hodgepodge of just eating everything and how our body was set up to eat. And it's a touchy subject because in the wellness industry, it's so divided. Yes. And you're either on one side or you're the other side. Like you're the vegan or you're carnivore and there's no in between. But I'm the kind of trying to be like the middle ground person. So the foods that have been really eye-opening for me in the past 2 years, specifically in my studies, is, it's going to sound really weird, just bear with me, but organic, grass-fed, pasture-raised beef liver.
Right.
It sounds very strange. I promise you.
It doesn't. But, as a matter of fact, we have a few restaurants here that have a menu and they'll ask you if you want the grass-fed or if you want the this one or you want the that one. And so, no, it's not strange. I'm understanding that people want a certain quality so that they can continue with whatever health choice they've chosen,
For sure. So I really, I believe in the balance, and or the liver is insanely jam-packed with nutrient density. It's actually insane. I can't even describe it, but there's basically a long list of nutrients that are in a 4 ounce. So you can have it once every 2 weeks and you would have a super multivitamin of potassium, magnesium, zinc, vitamin A, vitamin K2, some things that aren't found in other places. And it's really important that it's high quality, or else you're just throwing all of that out the window. And you're just, again, taking in hormones from other animals, which are not great. Exactly. So that's been my touchy subject over the past 2 years of kind of transitioning into opening up to everything, and seeing the value and then seeing the science behind what it does when we eat a full range of foods. Right. And how we need the different foods. We need the plants, we need the root veggies, we need the bone broth, we need the gelatin, because they all kind of are puzzle pieces to different parts of our organs and how they function. And especially thyroid, that thyroid needs everything. It needs the veggies, it needs the minerals, it needs the protein. So it's been a journey, because it's definitely easy to pick a side, but my journey has been, okay, how can I make it as accessible to everyone that they can eat a wide range of foods, and then slowly be open-minded to the weird kind of not normal things like liver to help them in their journey.
Right. Are there any foods that you stay away from because you notice that they just don't make you feel good? Like me, 7 years ago, I had to give up ice cream, because whenever I eat ice cream, I don't care what quality it is, it makes me sad. Yeah. So I had to give up ice cream. Have there been any foods that you've had to give up on your journey? Because that's the part that I think is the big transition for most people, that they don't want to give up their good things that they like. But sometimes you have to just leave that taste to memory and give it up to save yourself. So what are some of the foods you've had to give up?
Well, specifically, I try my best to stay away from hydrogenated oils. So that's like the sunflower seed oil, cottonseed oil, like basically the oils that are in packaged foods at large.
Right.
I'm not perfect, but I know that when I eat it, I feel really tired. And now I know the science behind it. Like, it is not a biological match for our cells. Our cells are in a 90-degree vessel. And when we eat hydrogenated oils are basically oils that bears eat, like nuts and seeds, which are fine. Nuts and seeds are fine every once in a while. But bears eat that before hibernation. And it makes sense because it makes them extremely tired and it fills them up and it slows their metabolism for the winter. Wow. So when I have hydrogenated oils, especially the like ones in packaged foods, I definitely feel my heart rate slow. I feel that I'm tired, and it's literally a mismatch for my cells. So it makes sense that I'm feeling all those things. So if I'm out in the world, I'm at a birthday party, or I'm like, traveling, of course, I'm going to eat whatever is there and enjoy myself. But when I'm at home, when I'm going grocery shopping, I make the conscious decision to not have a big bag of chips that have a long list of ingredients when they should only have 3. So that's something that I've been really clear with myself, and I've suggested it to clients because it really, you do feel the difference of not having it for a while and then putting it back in your body and actually feeling the vibrational shift of slowing your metabolism. So packaged hydrogenated oils is definitely a no-go.
At least you know it. And, I think it's really important too that we recognize those things, that when we eat them, if they make us feel a different way than what we normally feel or how we want to feel, or if it puts us in what they used to call a food coma, they put you in a food coma, you probably don't want to have that again. What about drinking? Are you on a specific kind of water, or drinking 100% juices, or like, are you juicing and doing all of that?
Yeah, so I'm not a huge juicer anymore, it's an interesting topic, but I found that really making sure that I have whole fruits is a really great source of water. And then also having my non-fluoride water as best you can. Please make sure your water doesn't have fluoride, because it really affects our pineal gland and a lot of our organs. So that's really important. Yeah. And I will say, I really do like, I know a lot of nutritionists are not a fan of orange juice, but I am. I think it's a really great source of vitamin C, and that you can get a really jam-packed in just 4 ounces. But I will say, fresh squeeze.
Some of the other ones, I noticed I had to stop drinking. I'm not going to say the brand, but a particular brand, because it was so mucousy and so thick that it was like, but when you look at the ingredients, it's like, this is not even really real orange juice, but it's one of the top brand names. But I just felt like it wasn't good. So I just juice everything. And is it true? I think they say that the juice from fruit is called H23. Is it H23 or 8? Some type of, it's a number 3 water or something, because we've got our regular water. So that I've been trying to tell people about getting those servings of fruit in. I know the food pyramid for the agriculture department says we should have 9 servings of fruit. Now, 9 servings doesn't mean a whole fruit, it just means a serving size. So we should have those 9 servings a day, which then you'll get that natural water part in there, especially if it's like an orange or things like that. So that's a thing that I've telling people especially who have little kids, like, get them more fruit, forget those little fruit gelatin snack things, forget that. Get real fruit and get them to fall in love with pineapples and fall in love with mangoes and fall in love. Listen, I'm listing all the things I like.
I love pineapples so much. And it's so great because when you set your palate up at a young age to have the real deal foods, it's a no-brainer. When you grow up, you just naturally gravitate towards those things. And I think what I really like to implement is, when you do have those fruits, to always have a protein and a fiber and a fat with it, so that your blood sugar is balanced, because that is the most important thing for our internal stress and our internal inflammation, is to really make sure to never eat a fruit. It's counterintuitive because there's a lot of other debates about eating fruit alone, but I truly believe eating fruit with a protein, a fat, and a fiber is the most safe way to eat a sugar, because sugar is sugar is sugar.
Yeah.
It's all going to break down into glucose.
Yeah.
But it's the way that we balance our blood sugar levels that is going to change how we feel, especially because sometimes we'll get really, really hyper and get a big energy rush after having a pineapple. But if we had that pineapple with scrambled eggs, or if we had that pineapple with like a salad with some Parmesan and some oysters or something random, you'll feel way more calm and way more balanced and still get to enjoy those sweet.
So true. Because like on a salad, I love to have like the mandarin or strawberries or something, because then you don't need the dressing.
Yeah.
You don't even miss the dressing once you've got that other sweet thing that's on there. Are you teaching your friends that are in your age group? Are you teaching them all of this goodness? Because I feel like they are super lucky to have somebody who has this knowledge. Because again, I wish I knew when I was your age. I wish I'd known.
I really wish I did too. So I definitely, a lot of my friends were athletes.
Okay.
So they still are really active in their lives. So sometimes they'll text me and say like, I'm doing a workout today, like what should I do? And I'll give them that. And it's really fulfilling, because not only have I solved so many hormonal issues within myself, but the fact that I can help my family and friends and clients literally change their way of being and them just feeling more grounded in their bodies, it shifts everything else. It's like a ripple effect in their lives. They're happier partners, they're happier people, and just, more grounded. So I definitely have conversations with my friends about the health tips that I share.
That's really awesome. Now, where are you going with it? Tell me, because I can see you, of course, having your own cooking show, especially natural cooking. I can see you doing a podcast, of course, a couple of books and workshops. So tell me where you're going with it, because with the knowledge, I mean, I just feel like every woman should know this. I mean, I can't even think of a woman who wouldn't need to know this. I can't even think of one.
Yeah.
So tell me, where are you planning on going with all this great knowledge you have? You've got such a great site over on Instagram where you're really putting out great knowledge. I mean, I've gone through the entire page, so I know what you have there. And so it's just a little bit of my homework, because I wanted to know what, I was going to talk to you about today. So I thought it was important that I get to know even a little bit more about what you're talking about and what you're doing, and the educational information you're giving. So what's your plans?
My plan, I'm currently making a group program, basically that will eventually become an online course.
Okay.
But I think if I can just have one space where people can all go to and they can keep forever, and in 20 years, if they forgot one little thing, they can always go back to.
Absolutely.
That's my dream, of making it accessible.
Yes.
For everyone to have that information. I love seeing one-on-one clients, but I can only work with 5 people max in a month's time. So it's something that I've been working toward the whole year. I've been working on it for so long. And I'm hoping to launch it in the fall, but that's my, the most immediate goal for me, and where I'm going with all of this is to have a space where women can gather and have so much information at their fingertips, so they just can feel better. And it's really exciting, because it's going to help so many women in different ways, whether they're 13 or 47. Like, it's going to help everyone. So that's my immediate goal. After that, I'm out of time, where I'm just like trusting God, like trusting where He takes me, because I don't know. Like past 5 years, I've really made myself not think too much, because I'm a perfectionist, a recovering perfectionist. So yeah. So I think
congratulations on your recovery.
It's like the number one thing that causes my stress is just the perfectionism.
Yeah,
so
they having to be so perfect. I mean, I got rid of that years ago. I'm just like, you're getting what you're gonna get, and that's it.
Honestly, I think it's because, so I'm about to be the same age as your daughter. I'm turning 28 in a few days, and
on the night.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
I told you I did my homework. Don't I love that. You know that.
But I honestly feel like as I'm getting older, I'm starting to care less about being perfect.
Good.
And
Good.
especially as a Virgo, like that's a big deal.
And,
So
and not caring what other people think they think about you.
yeah,
Because it's like
exactly.
they don't know you, they don't live with you, they don't travel with you, they don't know where your mind is. So, and
Yeah.
with this space that we're in with social media, people can just be what I call thumb thugs behind the computer, and they think they can just say anything. But I am so glad that I learned this in 5th grade. My mom taught me not to care about people who are not doing anything for me. Like, so what? So I got that attitude of, you could talk about my mom, my dad, my grandma, anybody, just don't touch me.
Yeah.
And I've carried that attitude throughout. And so when I see people make negative comments about anything, especially like if I'm on somebody's page and I see that somebody put a negative comment, I go, well, I wonder how sad their life has to be that they would actually discourage or put somebody else down when they're living their truth of what they love and what they believe. So I'll pass that on to you as well. Don't even worry about what people are saying, because, you had a little bit of a transition into the PCOS. And so there are some people who are going to understand it. Like, for example, I know that you have some men on your channel as well. But see, what they don't understand is by them learning from you, they can then talk to their moms better, their sisters better, their girlfriends, their wives, things like that. So it's like the men need to be in the community to learn the knowledge because they're hanging around women. And, there's just some things that you need to know. Like there are things about men that we need to know so that we can communicate better, especially when it comes to health and just general communication at all. So that's why I started this off with saying you are so smart because you're taking the time to learn, smart because you're teaching other people, smart because you've created a whole business around what it is that you love. And you know what? Doesn't it feel good to wake up in the morning and love what you do?
Yes, I'm just so grateful.
I have been an entrepreneur for over 25 years, and I'm telling you, there's not a day that I don't wake up going, thank you. I'm so glad that I'm on my own time. I can go away. I can come back. I can do whatever. I can work from any corner of the earth. Doesn't matter where I am. Nobody cares as long as the work gets done, So I love that you're creating that pathway for yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, I definitely did pivot in the past 2 years to this.
Good.
And I feel really good about it. It feels way more grounded and real for me and what I've been through. Because I think if I've gone through it and I've come on the other side, I have way more knowledge, not only from my textbooks from school, but like my visceral knowledge of knowing how it feels to not have hormonal imbalances anymore. So it's amazing that I get to do that as my work and help.
Yeah. And it's so important really to talk about the hormones anyway, because that's kind of the thing that almost rules us women, because we have got so many things going on. That's why when me and my daughter started this show, we were just like, we just want to talk about everything that women want to talk about. We're not doing a gossip show. We're not doing anything negative. We're not talking bad about whoever did what out in the world. We're just going to educate and inform, have a great time, eat some good food on camera. Like we just have a really good time with the show. So I'm just happy that I'm meeting another person like yourself that is happy with what they're doing. Like you're doing what it is that you feel like. Now you may pivot in another 5 years and go all the way to a whole nother level, but it'll be okay because you're already an expert in what you're doing, which is why wink, wink. I mentioned a book because that'll just take your expertise to the next level. Check this out. I've been looking at your page and watching some of the things you've been cooking. Now you've been making me real hungry. But anyway, when I look at what you're cooking, I'm like, well, she could have a whole lifestyle book, with the recipes and the changes and talk about the hormone. Anyway, that's just my business brain that just takes over sometimes.
I love it. I've had a few people in my family suggest crossing over a cookbook with PCOS. So
listen to your family, because when you're talking about hormones, you're talking about PCOS. I don't know, again, I have to go back to, I don't know a woman on the planet that would want it either for themselves or for another woman that they love or their daughters or whatever. Imagine somebody having a daughter that's, 6 or 7 or 8 to 10 years old, and they can start talking to them now so that they know what to expect when they become a young lady, what to expect when they get a little bit older, what to expect in their 20s, their 30s, just have different women maybe in the book talk about 30s, 40s, 50s, and kind of like that. Anyway, I'm just saying, I just think it's such a great idea of what you're doing. Let people know where they can find you, because I know that you also said that, you have a coaching, a community, I guess, that you do coaching and consulting, and that you have workshops and all of those things like that. So let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram, which is just my first and last name. No one else has it, so you'll find me. It's Katherine Haysbert. And my website is katherinehaysbert.com. You can check both of those sites for updates of when I'm going to launch my group program.
Okay.
I'm planning on mid-October. It's going to be an 8-week program with a bunch of other women really aligned with the same things, having the same kinds of issues and wanting to find resolve.
Yeah.
And that's going to be really fun. I'm just really excited to gather and help.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah. So that's what's happening now. So my website and my Instagram are the places to see all that.
And now that we're outside, you might start doing some retreats or anything. You never know, right? Yes, I saw the retreat that you went to. I was very jealous. I so wanted to know where that was, especially when I saw the shrimp.
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I want to be there eating that good food right there and around women that are smiling and happy like I am. So I'm just so glad that you are incorporating those things into your life, because some people wait until they're in their 40s or 50s to start having fun, but you've decided to do it now and to take it into whatever it is that you're doing for a profession. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Well, thank you so much for being my guest today. I so appreciate you agreeing to do it with me and being a part of our Wonderful Women series, because I really believe what you're doing is wonderful, not just you as a wonderful woman, but you're doing it for other wonderful women.
Thank you. I so appreciate you.
You are welcome. All right. Well, have a great rest of your day in Vancouver. And mothers and daughters, thank you so much for checking out our show today. Check Katherine Haysbert out, Haysbert, on Instagram. If you want to follow her page, there's a wealth of information there. Lots of great tips and ideas and, different things about the hormones and foods, and a little cooking over there she does as well. So that'll be interest to you. Make sure you subscribe to our show at Mother Daughter Ish, and on Instagram it's Mother Daughter Ish _. Join us over there where we have a lot of fun. All right, bye for now. Bye, Katherine. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, it's Miss Dawn. You wondering how you can support our show, Mother Daughter Ish? We have Cash App, we have PayPal, and we do have Vimeo. Support our show so that we can reach out to more women. Our goal is to reach and build a community of 1 million women. Why don't you come on and help us do that?